Hey guys, my name's Bav and welcome to the channel. This is going to be a passion project of mine that's going to be all about accountability. I'm going to be posting on here all the things that I need to do, that I want to do, and documenting my journey along the way to make sure that things go smoothly and seeing how my progress goes. Because it's centered around accountability, it's going to be pretty damn embarrassing if I don't stay true to the promises that I make on here. This is, of course, a self-improvement channel, as you can tell, and unlike others that you'll be seeing online, I don't already have my life together. I'm not 25 and a millionaire, and I'm pretty much in the same boat as any other guy. Now, getting on to where I am right now, I have no income. I am a physics student at university, and I have no extremely valuable skills, but of course I do want to learn, and I'll get onto that in just a moment. So, 5 immediate most important goals and priorities in my life right now would have to be number one, to get into a regular good routine, because it's pretty damaging to have a shit sleeping schedule. As many students do, you don't get as much work done, you're not going to be as motivated to do what you need to do. Obviously all productivity goes out the window when you wake up at noon. That's a common thing that had been plaguing me for a while, but I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm sure that there's many of you out there that also want to get out of that habit as well. So yeah, getting into a regular routine, I want to start doing the things that will build up to my goals eventually every single day, so that piece by piece I can put things together. One of them, number one, for now at least, is starting to study every single day for a little bit. Doesn't have to be huge or hours and hours, even literally just 1 hour or 40-50 minutes every single day is more than enough. Just getting a few problems done here and there, just getting ahead, anything I can do to get ahead. Number two is going to be starting to learn coding again. So I did in my last term do a module in Python. However, last term didn't go too brilliantly. I wasn't really paying too much attention, didn't pick things up at a high level, and I'm pretty sure that I've forgotten most of it already. That's just how it is if you don't really practice the skills that you've gotten. Same thing with languages. Learned what, French back when I was in school, and I've completely forgotten it. Before I could hold like a somewhat basic conversation with a native, and now not even that. So number two, yeah, starting to learn coding again, because it's one of those extremely valuable skills that I think could even be a sort of career path for me in the future, a possible career path. If I want it to be, and even if it's not, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. I mean, if you're opening your own business, then it would be huge to just have coding as a skill. So those of you listening, and if you think you can learn coding, then definitely take a shot at it. Like any language, start with Python if that helps, but there's plenty of others as well that are really, really, really useful to learn. Number three, reading regularly. Yeah, this is definitely a big one. You'd be shocked at the amount of people that actually do read nowadays, and they've started to take on really good habits, or even if they don't, they're just learning a lot by reading. And there's a lot of people, just as well, I'd say more than the ones that are reading, that are missing out on it. Like me, for example, I hadn't read a book since pretty much high school, and even when I was in high school, I remember the only reason I read was pretty much because we were forced to by the English program. They had like a reading program thing or something going on, right? Where you had to read a certain amount of words, or like a book by a certain time period, and if you didn't, they'd essentially force you to do it in detentions. Before that, I had a joy of reading, and I don't know what happened to me, whether it was finding social media that killed it, or gaming, or I don't really know. I don't want to blame it on any one thing. I'm just going to say that I fell out of love with reading from a young age, and I do regret it, because I remember I used to spend hours at a time reading through a book, and I would learn so much in terms of not just vocabulary but life lessons as well. Okay, so reading regularly. What else did I say here? Atomic Habits. Yeah, so I started reading Atomic Habits recently, got through about 30 or so pages of it, and already there's some really life-changing information in there that I ironically haven't really made use of yet. It is what it is. I do need to pick it up. I definitely do need to pick it up again. Number four, I'd have to say, I'm just going to include this channel in number four, yeah. So starting this channel, this is going to be my first step, and I want to make regular uploads of things, updates on how I'm doing, different goals, what I've started, steps I've taken to get towards those immediate goals, and the ones that I've just listed, for example. If by next week I don't upload some kind of video after the first upload, obviously, that suggests that, in it I've done the things that I've said I was going to do, like start reading, starting on learning programming again, and studying regularly as well, then you'll know, obviously, because again, this is the accountability that I was looking for. That's the experiment, to see if I can start posting regularly and have this as my source of accountability, and if this can be a powerful way of just changing my life. And finally, number 5 would be learning a language. I alluded to this earlier, but I did learn French in high school, as I said, but that's surprisingly not the language that I'm talking about here. The language that I want to learn now is actually Japanese. It's a language that I did find a lot of interest in, even though it would be easier for me to learn French. I thought I'd put in a little bit more effort and learn Japanese. And when I did initially start learning, I think it was a year ago or something, I found that it was easier to pick up because I'm already bilingual in another language as well. And thanks to that, I've got a little bit of I don't know if it's tongue flexibility or whatever it is, but it's a lot easier to pick up a language for me for just whatever reason. I feel like I should give that a shot, as that would really increase my range. I do already know one European language, which is English. Shares a lot of commonalities with French, so I think I'll go with another Asian one for now. Depending on how things go, I may even pick up another one. Like if I get really good at Japanese, and I reckon that I'm reaching levels of fluency at which I could easily hold a conversation with a native, even about somewhat complex topics, then I will definitely consider picking up another one, like reinforcing French, or maybe even learning German. I don't know. I'll see. Okay, so that's my 5 immediate important goals done. For my 5 long-term goals, I'm gonna list them now. So number 1, I'm not sure if this is in any order of priority, but number 1 would definitely be my highest priority. Number 1 is to become a far more virtuous individual than I am today, and, you know, just to be a better man. Someone that me right now would be proud of. I feel like that's a really good outlook to have on life in general. It's like, if you thought before every action that you take in the present, would future me thank me for taking this decision, that you'd live a completely different life. And I think that's 100% true. Like half the impulsive decisions that I make, that, you know, you listening would also make, there's plenty that you can think of that you'd probably regret later on, like not sleeping at the right time, like just procrastinating on random shit, just think you should have gotten done and, you know, out of the way for a long time. Ideas that you didn't execute, like brilliant ideas. I talk to so many people, they just have so many brilliant ideas of all these different things that they want to do, and a lot of the times it just gets thrown in the dustbin again with all of the other paper, all the other ideas, where nothing ever happens because they never get around to it. And I don't want the same thing happening to me. This YouTube thing actually is an idea that I've had for a really, really long time, that I've done the same thing with myself, just procrastinate and said, okay, I'll leave it to another day. But no, today I said I'm going to pick up this keyboard, I'm going to write a little bit of a script, do the best that I can, and the rest I'll freestyle and see whatever I can get down on recording. This is my first ever attempt, really. So number 2, I'm going to have to say, is money. And for that, I just think I need to do a few things. So I need to get through this degree properly, I need to get quite a few valuable skills, and I need to find ways to gain assets, which is, you know, it's a bit of a later on thing when you actually have money to buy them. Okay, number 3, it's to become an individual who has a lot of valuable skills at a high level. This ties into number 2, really. And I said that the way I was going to go about getting money, one of the ways at least, was to have a lot of these valuable skills. I did mention it before as well. One of them, I think, is programming. That can be a potential career path. There are others as well, like having really good math skills, just life skills in general as well, that would also help. Cooking is another thing that I was thinking I need to get better at, but right now I've been doing the full-on just uni student thing, where you have either frozen food, pasta, or just eat out, and that's not good for my wallet, and it's not good for my health either. So I am going to need to find a way to fix this eventually as well, although it's not extremely high on my priority list right now. Number 4, this is going to be to solve some kind of problem and to start my own successful business. But let's be honest, who doesn't want to do this? This is one of those things that's really broad. It's not extremely specific per se, but it is definitely a goal that I do want to achieve somewhere far down in the future. I mean, if I could do it now, I would, but I don't really see a way that I could, besides, of course, just being regular with YouTube and maybe seeing if something can go somewhere, but it's usually quite unlikely. And I'm not being pessimistic or anything. You know, I'm going to be consistent with the uploads. I'm going to be consistent with my message as well, trying to see if I can improve my skills and with high quality content. Oh, right. Sorry, I just remembered editing skills. I do want to get editing skills as well. I feel like that's pretty valuable to have as well. It would help me create higher quality content that I feel like would allow it to reach more people and hopefully improve their lives. And that brings me on to the final point. My final point is that I want to eventually become someone who has a really positive impact on a lot of people's lives in some way or form. And the reason for this is it can be a struggle for a lot of people to find some kind of purpose in life or meaning or just feeling like their life is meaningful. And even though I don't feel like I've had that issue so far, I feel like if I ever do have it in the future, being an individual that gives a lot of other people hope would definitely give me hope as well. As an individual that I can be proud of myself and say that the things that I've done, things that I've achieved, and the way that I've helped other people, it's something that I should be content with. It's something that I should be happy with. There's no better way to do that than living by example. As you know right now, I'm not exactly a success story, but that's what we're aiming for. That's what we're all aiming for. Anyways, that's all my goals. That's where I am right now. It is getting pretty late, and if I want to stick to the whole staying on schedule thing, then I'm going to have to sleep pretty soon. So that's going to be all. Thank you all for watching, and good night.